Welcome to our 10th week of Sniblets. Hey, here's our tentative plan. Our tentative plan is that our first church service that we would be back, and let me say not in the facility, but on the grounds, would be June 7th. And the idea would be that we would do it outdoors and that we would have places you could park and tune in on your radio. You could gather lawn chairs around wherever we set up the platform to do the presentation. We would do a couple of services. It would be a safe environment where there would be plenty of room for social distancing. At the same time, we will still offer what we offer online, so somebody doesn't feel like they're left out if you choose not to participate. So that's the tentative plan. We don't want to do anything against the wishes of the health department, but that would keep our facility safe. It would ensure that we could keep people safe in terms of distancing themselves from one another. So just stay tuned. We'll keep you posted on what develops. We're still 2 weeks out from that. So today, here's some funny thoughts from children. One parent reported their 4-year-old asked, "Can we get a kitten?" The parent says, "No, honey, I'm allergic." To which the 4-year-old replied, "Well, you could sleep outside." There you go. Hey, question on the table. Who's your hero? Who's your hero? Now, I'm not talking about worshiping an idol, but there's always people in our life that we look up to. Who's yours? Good discussion question as a family. We've been looking at lessons from the life of Joseph. Last week, Joseph goes from the prison to the palace. He is 37 years old. He has a family. He's in a place of supreme authority. The famine hits the world, and that places Joseph in the center of the universe, figuratively. And the brothers from Israel, this is a universal famine, and the brothers from Israel come down. They bow down to this authority figure they know is just this authority in Egypt. We know him as their brother, Joseph, that they sold into slavery. And Joseph tests them. He holds on to Simeon, places money back in their sacks that they came to purchase, making it look like they stole this money. Now a second trip back to Israel or back to Egypt is necessary. And Jacob is forced to release Benjamin. And God is orchestrating a family reunion. So the passage to read it would serve you well to read Genesis chapter 44, verses 1 through 17. Genesis 44, 1 through 17. And then we'll do some diagnostics. I believe this is the third test. Now, let me give you some background, because in this passage, it mentions something that's kind of like, what's he talking about? Divination. Well, divination was a pagan way of discerning future information. It was demonic. It was not of the Lord. And they would take a chalice and they would pour a liquid in there, and somehow they would read what the water was forming to form some sort of message about the future. We're not certain that Joseph practiced divination. But what he wanted them to think, what he wanted the brothers to think, is that he has some futuristic powers, and he wanted to ingrain in them some fear of him. So with that in mind, as you read that, he has just shown Benjamin overwhelming favoritism. Well, will the brothers respond in jealousy to Benjamin like they responded to jealousy with Joseph? Those 5 overwhelming heapings of food is it represents a coat of many colors in some way. Now he ships his chalice into Benjamin's knapsack. All the brothers are unaware of this. And will the brothers abandon Benjamin? The brothers' response when they are confronted that someone has stolen the chalice, they respond, "We would never do that." They reply, "Take the one of us as a substitute." Take the sacrifice, the one of us who does this. Now, the steward of Joseph, basically, he is Joseph's slave, says that the one who has the knapsack, has the chalice in the knapsack, that brother will be the slave. They all agree to this. Now, to add to the drama, they examine the oldest brother's knapsack to the youngest brother. They come to Benjamin, the youngest, and sure enough, the chalice is in his knapsack. He's been framed. He's been set up. Now the brothers' response. They tear their clothes. They bow down to Joseph. This is the fourth time they bow down to him. And at this point in time, there's no stories. There's no justification. There's no lies. There's no appeal that somebody framed them. They confess as a team, we are guilty of sin. Sure, they might not have been guilty of this sin, but they know they were guilty of selling their brother. So they are saying, hey, we are guilty of sin. Let us be the Lord's slaves. At that time, Joseph gives them, the 10 brothers, sons of Leah, he gives them the opportunity to go home. You know what? It's a good day. It may seem like a bad day, but it's a good day when we acknowledge that we are guilty and we no longer try to justify any actions that would enable us from escaping some consequence, from getting us off the hook. It's a good day to say, hey, you know what? Do with me as you will. I am guilty. It's taken 22 years. And the brothers over the past 22 years have gone from inventing a story about Joseph's death, plotting his slavery, to now they're 100% transparent. They're saying, hey, whatever the consequence, we will be willing to pay. You know, here's the question for you as a family. What's good about being transparent? What's not good about being transparent? It will hinder your entire family. You know, you can exist with a lot of things, but you cannot exist with lies. So what do you need to be honest about? Good discussion question. What's good about being transparent in the context of a family? What's damaging about not being transparent in the context of a family? Well, have a great Monday, and we'll see you tomorrow as we continue with Joseph.